10 minutes ago, there were about over 100 loads, and they were all one loadout trailer, or maybe multiples coming from the same place and going to the same place, but there's no reason to list it 100 times. But I'm going to refresh it. I deleted them all. I'm going to refresh it here and see how many have reposted it. Nothing yet. Okay, so this load right here looks really good until we look at it and see what it says. Round trip. Still not a terrible load, but that's just a bad route from San Antonio all the way to Dallas. That's bad traffic all day long. Let's look at this other load board. Move this out of the way. Just one load on there. It probably isn't even a power only. Let's see. Stack of 3 flatbeds. Rate is 2,500. How many miles is that? Oh my gosh. Almost 1,500 miles. They want to pay 2,500 for flatbeds. Oh well. We'll wait and see what drops on there. Hopefully people will wake up here in a minute and put some loads on the board. But I'll show you what I'm looking at for traffic. 30 miles. Still taking 45 minutes to get there. So we'll wait just a couple more minutes and then head over. Well, it's a little after 10 in the morning, and the load boards are the worst I've ever seen. There is nothing. One load popped up going to California from a broker I've never heard of. I checked their credit, and they don't even exist on a credit report. So either they're way too new, and what happens is these scammers, they'll stay in business for a little while and rob everybody of their money and scam them, and then just come back the next day with a different name. And it's funny, when I first started, every once in a while I would use one of these brokers that they didn't have good credit, and I found out, not accidentally, but by calling them, and they were answering by a different name, and then they sent me an email by even a different name, and it's come to find out there was like 10 companies that were basically all the same company, and they didn't have good credit. And when it came time for me to collect my money, they were supposed to pay me with quick pay, which means a couple of business days, and every single time I have to track them down and threaten them and do everything I can just to get my money out of them. So I don't even deal with them anymore, and it's just not worth it. But they'll usually start off with a decent rate, and just to get people to call in and hook them. But yeah, that's the reality right now. It's January 15th. It's Monday morning, and I'm in San Antonio, and there is nothing. Maybe some of it is because of the weather. The weather is terrible everywhere this morning. Blizzards, stopping the roads. And I did a real quick check of looking at some cameras from, Oklahoma to all the way up to Wyoming, and there is very little traffic anywhere. Just people are just pulling over and stopping because the roads are icy. Even here in San Antonio, I had a 25-mile trip this morning, and it took me over an hour, and I was slipping and sliding, and there were several accidents just in that 25-mile trip. So I'm looking for anything right now. I'm even checking Amazon to see if there's anything just to get me busy for the morning, because there's absolutely nothing. One load popped up, and like I said, it was going to California, and it was one of those scammers. You don't know where they came from or why they don't have credit, and they'll be in business for a little while and then gone. So I don't mess with them. But it's the reality of the middle of January. This is when freight dies for about a month and a half, and you just have to scrape and claw and hold on and see what happens. So I don't know, we'll see what we can get, but all right, I want to show you guys how I go about checking these companies that offer these loads on the load board. And after a while, you get a feeling about these companies just by the rates they offer sometimes, but by their name also. So this load popped up on the board, this one on the very bottom, from ShipSure Incorporated. I've never heard of them before, but when I look out here, it's from San Marcos to California, and from anywhere in Texas. Anybody from California is just taking rates for peanuts to get back to California. So when they start offering $2 a mile right off the bat, I know it's some kind of, there's going to be some kind of difficulties with this load. So what I did was, there wasn't nothing on the board, and I don't really want to go to California, but I'm checking on it anyway. And I went down and I checked their credit with my factoring company, and they don't even show up. And that's very weird, because even new companies show up as credit not new, or credit too new to factor. So just a few minutes later, the second one from the bottom, AKG Logistics, offered it's basically the exact same load. There's too few loads on the load board for that to be a coincidence. It's the exact same load, and you can see they offered it for basically the normal rate that people are going to take it for. But I've done this before myself. I've seen that big rate down there, and I checked their credit, and they weren't good credit, but I saw the good rate, and I said, well, I'm going to take a chance. And every single time I've done that, it's just been a nightmare trying to get my money out of them. They will tell you anything they can to get you to take that load, and they'll tell you they'll pay as soon as you deliver it. I've had some tell me they'll pay me half up front and half when I deliver it, and just anything. They'll tell you they can pay you any kind of way necessary, and then when it comes time to pay you, the excuses start. Oh, well, it was supposed to be 2 business days, or we need this, and it's a nightmare to get your money out of them, and I end up having to threaten them every time and just call them nonstop in order to get my money out of them. But I want to show you real quick how you can check these people just to make sure they're legit and they are bonded. So this ShipSure, let's check on this one and go down here to their MC number. You can go to this website and type in their name, but lots of times you'll see that they've changed DOT numbers over and over and over and over, and just whatever they've done, bankrupt and gone out of business and come back. But 1603864 is their MC number. Now go over here. This is the website, Safer Web. It's from the Department of Transportation, and let's type in this number. Wouldn't have typed it in before, so there it was. This is the MC, and we look at it and go down here and see what exactly they're up to. You can see right down here at the bottom, that's the date that they formed, 12/19. So they're less than a month old, and that's usually the way this goes. They are authorized to broker property, and what happens is they'll scam people for as long as they can until they get caught. They'll go out of business, and they'll come back as another business. And just to show you here, if it will do this, let me see. Let's type in their name and just see if this is one of those. Okay, they only have one name, so they're just starting this one out. But sometimes you can type in a name and it'll come up 6 times, just because they just keep changing and trying to scam people. But that's how you do it there. You just go to this website, and it'll tell you right up here at the top they're brokered, and what type of brokerage they are. It'll tell you down there at the bottom, and then operating status right there. You'll check this. You'll be surprised how many times that you'll check this, and an operating status will be not authorized, and they're still running ads on load boards, and people are taking the loads. But this is a real easy way to check it. Safer Web. It's a DOT website.